Good morning, Northbound, and welcome back. I'm glad you're here. If you're enjoying this podcast, I would really ask that you leave some comments, throw on 5 stars, and let's get some traction on this, because I would really love for this podcast to take off and reach more folks. Today, we are talking about an Eagle Scout. And this resonates with me because I'm an Eagle Scout. My grandfather is an Eagle Scout, and my father is an Eagle Scout. And so I'm a third generation Eagle Scout. And so this story resonates with me, and I can think back on what I learned and how I was led. And I fall back on those things. I remember those things. Those things have changed me and have led me throughout my life. This Eagle Scout we're talking about today, his life demonstrated humility, vigilance, focus, and most of all, action. And we're talking about Neil Armstrong, the first man to walk on the moon. And while they were descending, the spaceship's initial landing site was already marked out. And if you know the story, you'll remember that as they got closer to the landing site, they realized the astronauts could see that it was covered with rocks and debris that would, best case scenario, maybe scratch up the ship, but in worst case scenario, would completely destroy it. Okay. And so in that moment, Neil Armstrong took manual control of the ship and steered it away into a safe landing site that was kind of on a hill. All right. And they were battling against time because they did not have a whole lot of fuel. And so he had to take control of the ship and land at a different location. And this brings up an incredible and very powerful leadership lesson. And that is that as important as it is to provide direction to your organization and to have a plan, it is also equally important to adapt as things change. Leaders need to adapt, and they need to know when that time is. For Apollo 11, it was too late to abort the mission. They couldn't cancel it. They had to land. So Armstrong stepped up when it was needed, and he steered the ship to a new landing site. Your organization, your team, needs a strategic roadmap. That roadmap must include room for course correction. And so let me go over 10 things for course correction. A roadmap is great clarity, but it's not confinement. 2, vision will give us purpose, but adapting is what provides endurance. And 3, autopilot is great, but leaders need to know when to grab the controls. Armstrong knew when it was time. There was no time to think any more about it. It was time for action. That's why action was one of those things that his life demonstrated. 4, course correction is not weakness. Course correction is leadership. And 5, alignment is better than speed. You have to be aligned. You can't just go fast. If you are aligned and your organization is aligned and you have a vision and goals, then you can start to speed up. But your foundation needs to be set before you can go faster. And through this all, this is number 6, communication is vital. You must communicate up and down, all over. You have to communicate. And if you are the leader, and if you are, let's say you're the boss, you must communicate where you're going and what you're doing and why. And when you change course, you need to communicate why you're changing course. Healthy organizations adapt, and you as the leader are there to help them with that. You are there to help your organization understand what change is happening and why, and that you're adapting. And then you're going to evaluate. This is number 8. You're going to evaluate because new direction may be necessary. All the time you're evaluating. But one thing that stays the same is the mission is constant. Once you establish your vision and your mission and your goals, those stay relatively constant. How we execute that is going to change or may change. And then above all, more important than anything, the people executing the mission matter. The best leaders and Eagle Scouts know this because it was taught and ingrained in us. that the scouts we lead are the mission. Course correction when needed is good stewardship of our team, and it's how we are going to successfully meet our goals and get to mission success. Long before those first footprints were put on the moon, Scout Neil Armstrong was learning responsibility and leadership. He was a part of Troop 14 out of Wapanetka, Ohio, and he was on his way to earning Eagle. Those skills that he learned at that time served him well throughout his life and as a member of NASA. He was also an assistant scoutmaster in Iowa and as commander of the first lunar landing of Apollo 11. And as an Eagle Scout, his words carry a lot of weight. And that is, Houston, the Eagle has landed.
You just listened to another episode from the Northbound Podcast. Thank you for tuning in today. I hope you are encouraged and empowered in leadership. Go lead boldly and humbly. And remember our vision, elevate your team through Christ-centered leadership. If you want to be a part of our community, just go to go-northbound.com and follow the link and come join us. Follow along with courses and live streams and chats, and maybe even join us for an adventure. We'd love to have you. All of those links are in the description below. Thank you again for tuning in. It's been a pleasure. See ya.